Mic is cold and I'm already freezing. This is the earliest I've been awake all week, by like 2 hours. If I am awake, that is. I'd like to ask before I get started, how many people in the audience, by show of hands, have heard of Kickstarter? Okay, good. All right, so I could fill in a little bit of the gaps. So, I'm one of the co-founders and currently the CEO of Kickstarter. We launched about 2.5 years ago, and what Kickstarter is a fundraising platform for creative projects. What that means is typical arts things like public art, film, music, a lot of design, including industrial design, food-related projects like you'll see here, technology, open source stuff. So people come to the site with their own ideas, they put them up, and they ask their community, their audience, their fans and friends to help fund their projects. And it's not investment, nobody gets a stake. Usually these projects are thousands of dollars in scale, 5,000, 10,000, etc. The largest has been close to $1 million. The smallest ones have been $10. And so I'm going to take you through a little bit of how the site works and some of the dynamics that are at play, and we'll see how that goes. So about 3 weeks after we launched, and you know, it's the infancy of the site, there may be a dozen or 2 dozen projects up, some of which were done by us, the founders. This woman in Athens, Georgia, Allison Weiss, I think she was 20 or 21, she's a musician, she's a kind of DIY artist, she does it all by herself. Athens is a kind of a real DIY music town. And we didn't know her at all, and we walked into the office one day, or I don't even think we had the office at the time, we kind of turned on our computers one morning, and we saw her project. She had just put it on the site, user gen, like you would on YouTube or any other site, and she had put this video up with it that I want to share with you.
Hello Internet, my name is Allison Weiss. You may know me from the internet, or from real life. I'm coming to you today because I need your help. I'm recording a new EP in June, and it's going to be really good. I mean, I think it's going to be good. You'll probably like it. It's going to be released in the fall, and it's going to be on a digipack, much like my last CD that you see right here. Eco-friendly. I don't know if you know this about me, but I do everything all by myself. I don't have a label or a manager or any of that stuff. So I'm trying to raise $2,000 to press the first 1,000 copies. If you donate, not only are you going to help me out a lot, but you're going to get cool things like exclusive tracks and pre-releases and like limited edition stuff. But we'll talk about that later. So here are some reasons why you should donate to my new EP. Reason number 1, we are friends. It's pretty obvious. Reason number 2, you like me. I am assuming. If not, you should probably just turn off the video now. Reason number 3, I promise it won't suck. Now, some of you might disagree when it comes out, but I don't think that you will. Reason number 4, you can be part of a great thing. And that is making my new EP. And number 5, the best reason of all to donate is you're gonna get cool stuff. So, what do I mean by cool stuff? Well, let's talk about it. Here's how it's going to work. This website, Kickstarter.com, is allowing me to take donations from people, and nobody gets charged unless I raise that amount of money by a certain date. $1 or more, you're going to get exclusive updates on this whole process and like videos that no one else is going to get and all that kind of stuff. $5 or more, I'll put your name and your link to whatever website you have, or your Twitter or your Facebook. I'll link to you from my website. If you donate $10, you're going to get an exclusive track emailed to you when the album comes out. If you donate $30, you're going to get a digital copy of the album a week before it comes out. If you donate $40, you're going to get a physical copy of the album before it comes out, all like signed and like pretty and beautiful. If you donate $50, I will put your name inside the liner notes of the CD. If you donate $100, you will get a limited edition button sticker and t-shirt. If you donate $300, nobody's going to do this, but if you donate $300, I will make you a personal mixtape of any 5 of my songs that you want. I'll play them acoustic just for you, put it on a mixtape, hand color the cover, put your name on it, and mail that to you. Personal, one-of-a-kind thing. If you donate $500, I will write a song about whatever you want me to write a song about. Anything. It could be about you. It could be about your boyfriend or girlfriend. It could be about marshmallows and unicorns riding together in a beautiful world made of orange juice and airplanes. If you donate $1,000, I will play that song about unicorns and marshmallows on YouTube, and I will sing it. I will play it and I'll sing it, and I will kiss a photograph of you, and I will tell the whole world how wonderful you are. And if you donate $2,500, I will come to your town, and I will play a special, intimate, acoustic show in your honor, and it will be awesome. But I don't think anyone's going to do that. But I just put it there because, hey, why not? One of you might be crazy.
I love Allison. Allison does all the heavy lifting for me in these presentations. I don't think she knows that. So, we were like, wow, this woman got it. She just came on the site. This was everything we had imagined somebody would do. We launched 3 weeks ago, and she just nailed it. And I think the really interesting thing is I don't want to do too much of the show of hands, but how many of you would give Allison some money after seeing that video? Okay. Now, the remarkable thing to me is we haven't heard any music. And, a lot of people kind of, when we talk with them, they're kind of like, they're thanking us for this new model and all that stuff. But this kind of thing was done hundreds of years ago, and not just the Medici, these kind of big, rich patron families, bequeathing large amounts. There were things called subscribers. Mozart, Beethoven, Whitman, a lot of 18th century authors would go out to the audience and get people to subscribe before they turned the printing press on for the first edition, before they created the new concerto, and the subscribers would get early access to this work or their name in the first edition. So people had been going to the audience for quite a while, and I'm really interested to know why in the last 100 years or so that disappeared. And we're happy to kind of help bring this back. But I think, Allison uses the word donate, which is a kind of word that we tend to shy away from. But it is something in between patronage and commerce. She is offering goods and services for your money. And it's this really interesting mix that I think is kind of being defined by each project creator as they create their own mini economy around what they want to do. So this is the median, the most common amount pledged per person to a project on the site. And I think it's really interesting to talk about small amounts. And what small amounts allow us to do is be really disruptive, right? So if Allison wanted to go get her album financed, and she's doing it extremely cheaply, I think she would need several $1,000s. I think it was $2,000 or $3,000. And 10 or 20 years ago, that would be 10 or 20 times that. If you want to make a film, obviously it could be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you would be going out basically to find investors. Filmmakers now, they're kind of going after all the dentists, and maybe they can convince a production company to invest. Same with a lot of work that probably many of you do. You're looking, whether it's the company you work for or an outside investor, you're looking for investment. And when somebody is looking to invest relatively large amounts of money, it's a very high bar. They need to know, is this going to return my money? Or is this risk worth the reward? Maybe I'll likely lose it, but possibly I can get 10 times my money back. Since this is not about investment, and it is about small amounts, all you have to do is decide, do I like this person? Do I like their passion? Would I like to see them be able to make their project? And I think we all want to help each other. We're looking for low-cost, low-friction ways to do that. And that's what we're trying to help facilitate. And this is kind of trying to illustrate the point about the high bar of investment versus the low bar of affinity. I use this number, I've just grabbed it, but I think it's powerful. And this is kind of what I believe are the amount of ideas that are not conceived to generate revenue. The overwhelming majority of ideas. are not conceived to generate revenue. Now, many are contorted to generate revenue because they must, and it's not always bad. But ideas by nature do not necessarily have a revenue generation part of them as they come out of your brain. And so we're trying to really not just serve the 1%, because musicians and filmmakers, they are often in business and they like making money off their art. But also there's a lot of ideas that we have on the site that, for the most part, have, no desire and relatively little hope of generating revenue, and they also need sources of funding. So back to Allison. This is kind of a chart. Each dot is one day of her funding, and you'll see she made it in the first day. So the internet loved her, and Allison is obviously extremely charming and charismatic, and she had a small audience that she, kind of built up over a few years. But I think really interesting to notice is that this green line is $2,000, which is the amount of money she needed. And the way Kickstarter works is you must raise the amount you want within a time frame. I think Allison chose, seems like 40 days or something like that. If you don't raise that amount, if you're $1 short, you get nothing. Nobody's credit card is charged. Everybody walks away. But Allison reached her goal in the first day, which is great. But you'll notice she raised almost 4 times what she wanted. And I think this talks again to whether this is charity or something different, and why I think this kind of underlines that it's something different. Because people didn't stop giving her money. That means they were receiving value from participating, either because they were going to get one of these great objects that Allison was going to create, or because simple participation had value to them. And so this is how we've done in 2.5 years. This is what we've helped facilitate. About $95 million has been pledged. The distribution is kind of a little bit weighted towards film and music, but kind of design, which includes product design, art, publishing, food, technology, photography, games, theater, fashion, comics, and dance. So it's kind of a really broad spectrum of projects. 1 million, closing in on, I think, in the next month or so, 1 million people will have pledged to projects on Kickstarter from around the world. And 150,000 of those people are what we call repeat backers, people who have not just come and backed their friend's project, but have come back and backed other projects. I think there's a guy who's done over 500. So, people are obviously looking to help support other people's projects, and we're thrilled to help facilitate that. And these projects, again, there's the diversity is really amazing. And I know it's really hard to kind of read, but it's just pure creativity. When we first launched, there were a lot of people who were trying to tell us, oh, just do music, or just do film, or just do this really kind of thin niche. But we kind of realized that creativity in itself is a niche. People who come to the site, they're not like, I just want to look at film, or I just want to look at music. They want to see creativity. They want to see passionate people. You're not just interested in categories and things in tiny little boxes. This thing over here on the bottom in the center is Mobile Pool Party. These people built out of plywood this tiny little pool, and they hitched it to the back of their car, and they would just kind of show up places and have a little pool party. And I think they raised like $800. But again, where were they ever going to get any money? And everybody had fun. I think if you gave some money, you got like a text every time they were going to pull up somewhere, and for $5, everybody won. And 13,000 projects have been fully funded, meaning the amount of money that the people themselves wanted. And right now there's about 3,000 projects that are currently funding on the site. So if you guys get a chance to take a look later. This slide is trying to illustrate what I think was the traditional model of kind of ideation through hopeful release of your idea, bringing it to, whether it's to market or completing your artwork. I think you come up with an idea, and usually you come up with an idea, relatively on your own, whether you or your collaborators, but small group or yourself. And you might talk about it with a few friends, or with your colleagues or your small community, and And eventually, if you're lucky or if you embrace it, you go through this kind of long build process, and which could take anywhere from a few days to years and years and years and years. And then one day you release it, and kind of you hope the world embraces it, or the community that you want to embrace and embraces it. And I think a lot is lost there. I mean, I think you're working a lot in the dark. You're working a lot in the vacuum. And as you all know, as creative people, it's very hard to work in a vacuum. Feedback is really important. And also, you don't want to just build, work, and then release something and then get the feedback then. Also, support is really important. And I think what we're trying to do is insert a phase into this process where you come up with the idea, you take it to a point where you're ready to share it, and then you bring it to an audience, which is your community, your friends, if you're lucky enough to have fans. And it's not just about money. I think what we find is a lot of people come to us and say, well, obviously I came to the site for money, but what I found is that I now have an audience, even if it's a few dozen people or a few hundred people who care about your project, which really is kind of this wind at your back, whether you like it or not, to be honest. Like, you might have wanted to quit, but now you have 200 people who gave you some money, and you kind of now have to get it done. So, but that's really important. Very often that's extremely important. And through the process, you have people who are kind of keeping tabs on you. Whatever you want to share, they'll see, and you can get some feedback, and you can kind of, I think it really helps the process go forward. So this is the kind of Allison's story. So she now had 205 people at the end of her project that were kind of this wind at her back. And obviously she was thrilled, and I think everybody kind of had a good time. Her album came out 6 or 7 months ago, and it's a really great example of a kind of a tight project. All we do on the site is our projects. You can't raise money for a kind of an open-ended thing. It has to be a project. It has to be a discrete event that you could define with a beginning and an end and a goal. And I think people can really rally around projects. So I want to show you, I know I only have 5 more minutes, but I'm going to sneak a few more in. 3 more minutes, all right. So to kind of bookend this, we had another project that was more recent, I think within the last year, and it kind of shows the evolution of the site after 2 years after Allison. And this project raised over $100,000 and did another great example of kind of explaining things.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn Town, and I am the writer and director of IMI. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the project, how it came to be, and why we're raising funds on Kickstarter. So, I started writing the script about 5 years ago with my writing partner, Hans, a parrot, but his scenes were kind of one newt.
Hello. 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 Hello.
He was really big on hellos, and to be fair, all the hellos in the script are his. Unfortunately, Hans couldn't be with us this evening because he is now living in Las Vegas with a wonderfully talented cross-dressing Cuban Judy Garland impersonator, but that's a completely different story. So anyway, when I finished writing the script, I decided to show it to my friend Mariana. Hey, Mariana.
Hi, Jocelyn.
Would you read my script?
Love to.
Thank you.
Wow, this is brilliant. That was a quick read. I'd love to show my producers.
Oh.
They're here somewhere.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn.
I'm Cora.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, Jen.
Hi. Cora and Jen and Mariana all worked on Mariana's movie Good Dick together. So after I showed it to Mariana, I thought I should ask my friend Erin if she would be my production designer on the movie. Unfortunately, Erin couldn't be with us this evening either because she is working on a project in Paris. Bonjour, Erin. And I asked her, Erin, est-ce que tu voudrais travailler sur mon film avec moi? And she said, oui. So then she pulled all of these great images, and with them we were able to make a lookbook for the film. So after that happened, I figured I should ask some actors if they wanted to be in the movie. And I realized I'm married to a pretty great actor. Hey, Simon? Would you like to play Seth in the movie?
Do I have time to towel off?
Of course you do.
Then yes, thank you for asking.
Brilliant. So that was pretty great. And then after that, I was standing right here when I called Jason up and I said, hey, Jason, would you like to play Jonathan in the movie?
Yes, I would.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You're going to be really great in that.
It's a great part. I'm very excited to do it.
Me too. So that happened.
It did.
It did. And then after that, bye, Jason.
Bye.
After that, we decided to design a website for the movie. And on it, we're doing interviews where I sit down every couple of weeks with a different filmmaker and talk to them about their experience making their first movie. So they share advice and stories from all of their experiences. You should check it out at imithefilm.com. Then I talked to my friend Nick and I said, Nick, would you design a poster for me?
Yeah, it's right there.
That's awesome. That's great. So Nick did that, and now we're ready to start making our movie. So we're trying to raise funds on Kickstarter through friends and family and new supporters so that we can actually begin the production this summer. As I was getting into bed one night, I asked Simon, I don't know how to talk about this on Kickstarter.
One night, you asked? No, many. Not every night, actually. She asked me a lot over and over.
Well, asking people to give money is like asking them to get in bed with you, and that's kind of weird if you don't know them.
Right?
Yeah. Mariana?
Yeah?
Hey,
Hi.
would you like to get in bed with us?
Definitely.
Wait, what are you...
I mean, this isn't that weird because we actually know her. Hey, you guys, would you like to get in bed too?
Yeah!
Yeah. We all know each other, so this isn't that weird. Hi, you guys. Oh, but this is someone I don't know. Hi, I'm Jocelyn.
Hi, I'm Kendra.
Would you like to get in bed with us?
Yeah.
Oh, would you like to get in bed with us? I'm Jocelyn.
Yeah. Come on!
Hey.
Hi, Chen.
Nice to meet you. I'm Jocelyn.
Hi. Come on in. Pilot on.
I have a question. Isn't this a little like prostitution? I mean, people are paying to get in bed with us.
No, but this is a metaphor.
But no, it feels pretty real to me. I mean, someone is crushing my privates in reality.
But it's still a concept. This is a conceptual bed. And we would like you to get into our conceptual bed with us.
Yeah! Something's gonna get conceived tonight.
It feels so real.
All right, so just to wrap up, so the do, I'll combine the big do, the little do into one. And it's really less about doing something, but more of just about context. It's something that I use, and when I try to convince my friends to quit their jobs, what I say to them, not that that's what I'm saying. You know, I think, again, my math is terrible, but we are likely the richest 1% of 1% of 1% of 1% of people, however you want to measure richness, to ever walk on this earth. And, you know, our parents and generations before us have probably worked pretty hard to get us here. And I think I kind of use that as context when I try to make decisions about what I want to do. And I hear a lot of that in this tent this week. And so, if that helps you at all, I think that's great. Thank you.